We're having unprogrammed worship today, so we don't have music or anything. And I think we'll go to about 10 after 10 since we're just having unprogrammed worship. And I hope everybody can stay, but if you can't, that's fine. Um, are there announcements that we need to make?
I want to wish Happy Mother's Day to my mother, who is no longer with us. I miss her terribly. I want to I want to wish all the mothers here a beautiful day today. It's cold here.
How about joys and concerns to share?
Well, last Monday, I went to a graduation at University of Indianapolis. My uh, youngest granddaughter graduated, and she's also a long distance runner. And they had a special graduation for the track team because they were in Missouri at running races during the graduation of the rest of the seniors. She is a biology chemistry major on her way to be a doctor. And in the program, and it was announced, and she made a speech. She was representing the part of the track team in her speech, summa cum laude.
Hmm.
I'm so proud of her for biology chemistry. I won't even want to come close to that. And she has been accepted at Rush in Chicago for a specialized training. She wants to be the person in the operating room who takes care of the lung heart machine during your open heart surgery.
Hmm.
So she's going to keep you alive while you're having surgery, and whatever kind of surgery it's going to be. But anyway, um, I'm really proud of her efforts and her running. She does 10,000 meters in one race one day. The next day, she runs a 5,000. And so she just keeps moving.
Yesterday, I attended graduation ceremony at Wilmington College.
Hmm.
Um, and it was just a beautiful day and a beautiful ceremony. Um, I went to a school where there were thousands of us in my graduating class, and and the wonderful attention that each student gets at Wilmington, it was just lovely to see them and witness what a happy day they were having and the wonderful individual attention that they got through their course of studies at Wilmington.
When
Well, we had the joy of attending my oldest grandson's college graduation here at Point Loma University in San Diego. But unbeknownst to us, our son was the main speaker.
Oh,
Wednesday night, I got to go to a program called Sweet Night of Jazz, which featured the jazz bands from the high school. And Drake was center stage because he's a senior and he got to play a couple of solos, and I was so proud of him. And then last night we went to some kind of big musical that the school had put on, and his band that he's in, where he plays the guitar, they were featured as one of the acts. Made me very proud.
I spent the week with my two very, very fondest elderly people. And Dick's sister is 94 and he's 86. I was afraid he wasn't going to be able to manage the change of coming out here. And the first couple of days were a little rocky, but he slipped right into his routine and he did just great. And we went over and cleaned his sister's house. It's just a little dent in what her son and daughter-in-law have done to a very beautiful home. But it was a nice dent, and the kitchen is clean, and we like that. And there's something so amazing about slowing down, you know, and just trying to be present, not going anywhere, just doing what we're doing. You know, God's in his actions.
I have maybe both a joy and a concern. A little different from all of you are talking about people, events, and friendships. Some of you saw Louis a few weeks ago, briefly, I think. And Louis turned, in people years, turned 105 this week. 28 years older than any of our other six Cavaliers did. His days are numbered now. He's confused and awkward and having a hard time getting around. He's deaf, mostly blind and running into things, as am I. But he's not ready to give up yet. According to Google, it says while it's possible for a well cared for Cavalier to live to 15, it's a rare accomplishment, and many die several years before that age due to genetic health issues. So I'm fortunate to have him this long. I'm sure Sue can identify with this. She lost her close friend several months ago, and we're going to miss him. He's also the last Cavalier that Jody and I shared.
Thank you for sharing that, David.
Well, we do have much to be joyful about, and there's much in our life that's bittersweet at times. Let's lift all these to God, and also let's share them in our hearts as we support one another. And we will now go into unprogrammed worship. I'd invite you to please mute yourself just for feedback purposes. But if you feel led to speak, unmute and share what's on that God has laid on your heart to share. As Donna mentioned yesterday, we were at Wilmington College's 150th commencement services. Uh, and it was a wonderful time. I've sat through so many of those, either as a board member or my own, and the speakers are normally not all that engaging to me. The one yesterday was amazing. A fellow named Gary Hirsch, HIRSCH, if you'd like to look him up as an artist, he's online. He's a graduate of Earlham and told a couple Earlham stories, but he did some activities to engage both the students and then the people in the audience. And one of them that really struck me, I mean, they all did, they were quite thoughtful because his goal is to create more joy in this world. But one of the things he had us do, everybody, was to look for something that was red around us and start counting how many red things we could see, which sounds kind of silly, but so we started, and I have to admit, there were a lot of people had red on with their doctoral hoods and so forth, and people in the stands with red dresses, red shirts. There were red exit signs. And his point was that too often we go through life without noticing the amazing around us. We're just oblivious to it. And it was the last commencement for our campus minister, Nancy McCormick, who was retiring. And she used a new version of scripture called The Message. And one of the verses said, "Be the light in this world and look for the and bring out the God colors all around you." And I thought those two pieces of commencement were really important, not just to the grads, but to us, to be paying attention to what's around us and the ordinary everyday beauty. And I've been doing that this morning during worship and just surrounded by beauty here, the clouds, the blue sky, the geese coming up on the patio to eat leftover bird seed that's dropped. For all the trouble, it is a wonderful world. And I was so grateful for his messages yesterday.
My mind is still in the inspiration question today. Inspiration is seeds for passion. Bill speaks about the beauty of this world. I know it well. I think we all do. But when I see passion, I see the light in a person. That is incredible beauty too. Passion, just in this, what do we have? 10 people, 11 people came out through this little screen. And I thank you for it. Because as I said, people are taking so much from us in this world. It's a pleasure to have this given to us.
Yesterday, we gathered with approximately 50 other people to help our great granddaughter Reese celebrate her first birthday. And while I'm pretty sure that she won't remember anything, we can assure her that she had a great time, as did we. I was sitting with a friend of mine, Don, who's a friend of several of us, but not familiar with a lot of people that were there. And Don would ask me, well, who's that? Well, I would say that's a friend of the family, or that's an uncle, that's an aunt, that's a cousin, that's a grandparent, that's a great grandparent. Oh, that's so and so's ex wife. Oh, that's so and so's ex husband. And on and on and on. And it finally dawned on me how fortunate we were to be there together. Don said he was amazed that we all got along. Such a large and diverse group of people meeting at the family farm to help celebrate the first birthday of a little child. It was more about the rest of us gathering, really, than Reese's birthday, because she won't remember. But all of us that were there will remember forever. What a great day it was to be together, and an even greater blessing that we all put aside our political views and got along and had a wonderful day. So today I'm very, very thankful for my family, my friends, and the fact that we do get along so well and love and trust and understand each other.
So earlier this week, Dick and I went to Descanso Gardens, which is a place very near his sister's home. And we walked up a very steep hill. I got to the top and, look, they had a little exhibit and then we walked down. And while we walked together, he once in a while, he wants to hold hands where that was never one on his list of things to do. And his gait has changed. He takes littler steps and he's slower. And I try to match it. And if I'm not paying attention, I'll go back to the way I walk. And when I'm doing that, my mind is going a million different directions about different things. When do I get to mop this kitchen floor or whatever? And, what's going on in the world and also sometimes about the limitations, how, we can go and spend 2 weeks with his sister, but we can't go to my summer house, which is like heaven to me. But I'm struggling with the fact that, for now, I just can't go. And it's a loss. And I realized, that I need to pay attention in order to be in that space with him, moving at his rate and his way, matching his gait. And that kind of attention requires that I let go of all those other thoughts. I just have to be there now. It's like I invented in meditation until I realized it was a familiar idea. And then it just seemed, there we were in the middle of this beautiful forest with these, we're moving from the redwoods to the camellias and it just felt like God was walking there with us in Dick's rate, and that all I needed to do was just match. I don't even have to make anything up or make it harder than it needs to be. It just needs to be here now, be with him now. It's so hard to be in his shoes. Everything is so opaque. A lot of time, he was never exactly Mr. Chatty Cathy, so it's always been a little hard to read him, but and sometimes he's a little more conversational about things than he used to be, but he hasn't got all the words all the time. And he never did. He was not, as they say, a word guy. And if he can't retrieve a word, he feels stupid, when all I want is for him to feel loved. And I'm not in charge of his feelings. All I can do is love him and hope he feels it. And it just felt as though this particular time where we're spending that much time with his sister, I rented the room next to us. Got the room next to us, so she's right next to us. She eats breakfast with us every day, and where we only get to make a little dent in her life. It feels as though just even watching the two of them, that this is like an insanely God-infused moment. And it's not like a lightning bolt hits. It's like the tide comes in and the tide goes out. I get so afraid when the tide goes out that I'll be there by myself. But I know I won't. Whoever's walking with us now is going to walk with me then.
if friends' hearts are clear, we can close meeting for worship for the day.
Everybody have a good day and happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for sharing.
Happy Mother's